Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're here. It's green. I can't say it. Dream League Season 11, also known as the Stockholm Major Grand Finals. Best of five, so five possible games we could see, three minimum. But should all be pretty good games either way. Why you ask? Because we have these two teams here at the Grand Finals, Vici Gaming and Virtus.Pro. Two very potent teams. Very I think very popular overall as contenders in most majors. So we can expect a pretty solid performance. If you've been following throughout this tournament here, you'll take a note and see that pretty much both these teams have similar play styles. If you take a look at their games, they tend to play towards the later game if they have the option for it, which in most cases will just result in drafting a comp that is that fits the meta, but then running more of like a long like an end game kind of carry, something that functions in a late game as cannot really be contested by anyone other than the opposing carry, which is the way they like to do it since both these teams are pretty proficient in end game team fights, as well as just end game situations. But yeah, I look forward to it overall. It'd be interesting to see how these two playstyles clash. I think we've seen it before. I haven't actually witnessed or like casted the game personally, but I think Vici Gaming got the edge out. So we'll see if Virtus.Pro have learned some lessons from the last encounter, but we'll get right into it. Before I start, like I said before, if you guys were following me, or well, I'll be posting all these videos on one day, so I guess technically no one can really follow me unless it's like later in time. But if you're watching this video, that means you enjoy my content, so I appreciate it. But yeah, thank you for if you're just tuning in, or if even if you're just like if you've gone through the whole thing and you come all the way to the grand finals, I appreciate you watching. But either way, we'll get straight into it here with the pick and bans. Hopefully, seeing a pretty good draft overall, because a lot of teams lately have been losing to pretty weird draft choices, I'd say. I feel like we were advancing in the patch, since obviously this is a previous broadcast, but and a previous match. The results are already posted and everything like that, by the way. So a little behind, but yeah, like it was the point in the meta where people were figuring out what they wanted to do, but then also like getting their confidence to the point that like they wanted to try out different things. So like we saw different things like for example the Enigma, which comes out the first ban phase, as being like one of the more proficient position fours that kind of changed how the role was operating in the meta. Like a lot of position fours, you essentially secure the farm for your offlaner, so that like you don't get contested early game by the safe lane duo, and then your offlane gets a couple levels and eventually is able to just offlane or to lane by himself, and then you prioritize more pressure towards like mid and safe lane. Um, but yeah, I mean, the role's changed considerably. It's changed in a way that like Enigma has become a support that is more reliant on farm, which has come with like the advent of nature profit support picks too. But I digress. Overall, it's a good pick. Doesn't really have too much laning presence overall, but allows your team to be pretty gold efficient. As we'll take a look at down across the multiple bands here. The obvious ones being the Pangolier and the Chen for VG Gaming, and the Nyx Assassin Magnus. I mean, I'd say Lifestealer is probably the most popular one for Virtus.Pro. Chen and Pangolier just overall really good heroes for their position right now in their meta. The Pangolier enables you to have a flex pick, which both operates well in laning phase because the Swashbuckle lets you stay relatively safe in lane, as well as the Rolling Thunder just being probably one of the best team fighting tools in the game. But yeah, won't touch on it too much since it's pretty much the same story as like every single match. Another an important one to note is the Magnus ban, locking Vici Gaming out of that acceleration in just their economy and preventing their carry from executing something like that. Surprisingly enough, haven't seen they prioritize Magnus over the carry pick, which is on all likelihood the troll, which does combo with the Oracle pick that VG Gaming have gone with their first pick. So we could potentially see Virtus.Pro making an attempt to take it out away from them, as it is actually the Razor pick from Virtus.Pro. The meta's shaped in a way that a lot of a lot of heroes are high priority in picks or bans, but there's so many of them that you can't always cover everything. So it's gotten to the point where you have like a surplus of strong heroes in this meta, but they kind of all
10 seconds
work
remaining.
against each other very well, just because they're really strong. And
5
Razor's one of
seconds
them.
remaining.
I mean, it either comes up in the first pick and ban phase or just doesn't come up at all, usually. In a majority of cases, I'd say. But
Radiant team's
Razor's
turn to
just
pick.
that one of those mid lane picks that's pretty consistent overall. Can be flexed over to off lane or safe lane or something like that, but primarily in the mid lane. The Razor Q enables you to last hit and clear waves pretty proficiently along with your ultimate, the Eye of the Storm. Uh, your passive too with the connectivity also does good in like establishing wave clear. So like Razor has deceptively
10
large
seconds
amounts of like
remaining.
abilities that can let you power farm really fast. But
5 seconds
yeah, I mean it's a
remaining.
really consistent mid pick, and that's probably going to go over to no one. Um, Another good thing to know is static link pierces spell immunity, which is one of the most like the biggest trademark things for pros when they pick Razors. That if you get static link on a fight and you just stay alive, then you're pretty much nullifying the enemy carry like to like one of the greatest extents. Like I think it's I think it's like 200. Nah, I wouldn't say 200 damage at max. Maybe, maybe it's a lot of damage. But either way,
Radiant team's turn to
Virtus
ban.
Pro's second pick is going to be the Shadow Shaman. It's a very consistent support in this meta. No one really bans it out, but it's really important
Dire
because
team's turn to
Serpents allow you to
ban.
split push, as well as the Shackle and Hex and stuff, and early laning pressure from the Ether Shock makes it a really good
Radiant
choice
team
overall.
ban.
But that's most likely going to position for is the Earth Spirit left for Vici Gaming, so not prioritizing their carry yet. Instead, going for another strong hero pick, the Earth Spirit being very aggressive early on, enabling you to kind of play in a different way, where instead of securing your early game farm for your offlaner, you kind of just leave them at the start. Maybe like go for one or two levels and then immediately start going for roams because I mean Earth Spirit's most efficient when you're ganking
10
constantly. So
seconds remaining.
that's gonna be the pick out from Vici Gaming, as both teams pretty
5
much go
seconds
into the
remaining.
draft at a brisk pace. I'd say kind of like how like it's like a power walk of a pace. I think that's how fast this draft is going. But yeah, I'm having trouble keeping up. But next ban phase gonna go to most of the certain roles that haven't been claimed in the first wave, but are still very important. So things like the offlaners here. The offlane has shaped pretty well in this meta. I think it's become like a much more pivotal role in how like you become much more involved in team fights nowadays other than just being a frontliner. And that's due to like the advent of like things like Brewmaster being popular, Darkshare now with a lot of the changes to him and the enables of the AoE Surge talent as well as just Surge just being a really good utility spell. But yeah, I mean offlaners have shaped in a way that has made them essentially shifted away from things that operate strongly in team fights and towards the mid parts of the game, since you kind of just have to like bite the bullet and
Dire
suffer in a
team
safe
ban.
lane in the past metas. But now these days you have a competent laning phase, kill pressure, the ability to farm. It's like you get everything in the off lane now, so it's nice. Is what I have to say about it. But both teams kind of slowing things down with their picks and bans here in the second wave. Puck gonna be the next ban out for Vici Gaming here. Looks to be interesting. Surprising that the Puck ban came out after the
Dire team's
Pangolier
turn to
ban.
pick. Radiant team's turn to
I feel
pick.
like it's kind of a response to Pangolier in most cases, but other than that, the Dream Coil is like very good for team fighting, obviously. One of the better things in this meta for team fighting, as well as just like the puck with so much mobility and the ability to like disrupt and get into that back line. It's really dangerous against pretty much like every support on your team. So it's a good choice keeping that
10
locked out
seconds
for
remaining.
Vici Gaming there, as they do have two pretty
5
squishy
seconds
supports.
remaining.
I would also be note that it's a good choice to remove Tuck because the puck has like a earlier power spike as well as mids that is very rare. That allows you to both wave clear and roam kind of at the same time, with the Illusory letting you destroy waves pretty fast and Dream Coil letting you team fight. But yeah, I digress. The Bat Rider ban comes out from Virtus.Pro, denying a strong offlaner pick as well as like a flexible potential position. No, it's mainly just the offlaner since they've already
Dire
locked down their
team's turn to
supports.
pick.
But the first pick for Virtus.Pro is the Shadow Demon. It's kind of one of those things that has been in the meta since it does have the spell immunity piercing ultimate, as well as just like pro players have figured out that
Radiant
it kind of
team's turn
functions
to
in the
pick.
same way as an Oracle, where the disruption is a very nice save tool, but it also enables you to make catches too and set up for ganks, which is nice. So that'll be a good addition to the Virtus.Pro lineup here, as that is expected to be position 5. Vengeful Spirit out for Vici Gaming here. when they already have two supports. So kind of revealing already that this is most likely going to be a Vengeful Spirit mid or off lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean that's really other two
5 seconds remaining.
positions that Vengeful Spirit has been in, and you can't really have Oracle or Earth Spirit be the laners, the dominant laners in the laning phase. And by that I mean like the guys who get farm, people get last at priority and stuff like that. But yeah, revealing that pretty early there for Vici Gaming. So
Dire team's
I
turn to
guess they have
ban.
plans for their other picks as the Death Prophet pick comes out from Vici Gaming. A pretty good mid pick, especially against Razor, since the static link just steals damage. If you don't have a lot of damage, it's nice. But against Death Prophet, you can kind of just walk away and not really have to deal with it, since your Crypt Swarm enables you to clear waves pretty fast. Soul Siphon being like a good like trading tool
10
in lane
seconds
and keeping
remaining.
up with sustain, but the biggest thing is going to be the ultimate, the Exorcism, which enables you to push
5
down
seconds
towers as well as
remaining.
just be a pretty decent threat in fights. I mean, you put out a lot less DPS than what is kind of optimal for a mid laner, but it's consistent as long as you stay in the fight, and it lasts for so long that the total damage accumulated from Exorcism can be way past like any other ultimates. But I digress. It's also physical, I would say, Exorcism is, which pairs well together with the Vengeful Spirit since the Wave of Terror reduces armor. So we'll see if that functions well together in duo. But in all likelihood, since the Death Prophet was picked, that is going to be a Vengeful Spirit offlane for the likes of Mr. Yang here, Vici Gaming's offlaner. The first pick, though, I mean, it's odd. The response to Vengeful Spirit was a Tide Hunter here for Virtus.Pro, which is in all likelihood going to go on our boy Pasha as the offlaner for Virtus.Pro. But I like Tidehunter. I'm surprised it hasn't been more dominant in this meta, just because like a lot of offlaners and position fours have been picking like aura items as well as just guardian
Your team's
greaves,
turn to
things that
ban.
generally help your team out, as well as like overall team fighting items like Blink Dagger, um, Yules occasionally, stuff like that. But I like the Tidehunter pick overall. It's like a really strong laning tool, but you're kind of dependent on it being a ranged or a melee carry here, which if Vici Gaming are looking for a specific comp, then the troll is what they're looking for
10
most, right?
seconds remaining.
I think so personally. Might might also be a different potential one
5
since the
seconds
Oracle gives you
remaining.
the save you need to keep your hard carry alive. Um, but let's move past that. We'll go into the bans here. As yep, so Virtus.Pro want to lock out potential strong carry picks. Spectre is going to be the biggest one here as the late game option, as Virtus.Pro don't really have an I wouldn't say an early game
Radiant
lineup per
team's turn
se.
to
It
pick.
isn't specifically engineered for early game aggression or early lane aggression. So I expect both teams to kind of move through the early phases of the game pretty smoothly. The Earth Spirit is going to have the opportunity to make things a lot more interesting, but we'll see how that pans out as the Troll band comes out from Vici Gaming. Yeah, I guess that's
10
reasonable
seconds Dire
because
team's turn
you
to
don't
pick.
really want the Troll because the battle trance is only to keep your carry alive, and if you already have False Promise, it doesn't matter. So they're
Choose
going to
your
deny the
hero.
ability for the hard carry to stay alive for a long time for Virtus.Pro. By leaving that troll out of the mix. But Pop Rot's going to pick up that Morphling, whereas the response is Virtus.Pro's Phantom Lancer and Ramses. That's very interesting. Phantom Lancer is a very potent pick against this comp. Like pretty much late game, it tears everyone up regardless. Except for maybe like Death Prophet and I think Morphling maybe if you can isolate the real Phantom Lancer, but it's a nightmare to play against late game. So we'll see how if VG Gaming do well in team fights and they have like multiple people up against the Phantom Lancer, then it'll be easy to clean him up. But if he goes through unimpeded, which should be pretty expected considering the aggressiveness of the Tide and
10
Razor
seconds
picks and
remaining.
team fights, but overall Pro have a really late power spike. I'm
5
not sure how
seconds
they
remaining.
expect to get through this early game against an Earth Spirit, but w- uh, I'm eager. It's gonna be potentially 5 games, so personally I'm gonna take things a little slower. Not to say that I'll be like lazy or anything, but try to keep my voice in check as much as I can. Not talk as constantly and incessantly as my mother. Sorry, no, not my mom. I'm sorry, mom. Uh, but yeah, uh, VG Gaming is gonna be in the driver's seat for the early game, which is kind of a turn from what you'd expect from VG Gaming, since they're a team that likes to prioritize, I think the late game situations. But yeah, I mean, their power spikes are much earlier. The Phantom Lancer obviously is gonna be more powerful once he picks up that the Fusel Blade. But the biggest power spike is gonna be at level 25 once he picks up that really short or the really short Doppelganger cooldown. That'll enable him to like continuously be very elusive in fights, which you're gonna need, especially with the kill potential. But yeah, game one here in our best of 5. We'll see how things pan out for either team. Expecting it to be pretty close match overall. But yeah, I will note that as we get into the beginning of this game, that both teams have experience playing in like playing
Prepare
with
for
early game
battle.
aggression. In both of their games, if I remember correctly, both Virtus.Pro and Vici Gaming, both of them played a best of 3 in their finals, getting up to the grand finals. They got to game 3, and in game 3, they took a huge turn away from what they normally do. As the tips go out into the enemy offlaners, yep. Virtus.Pro just highlighting this Vengeful Spirit pick. It'll be interesting to see how it works out for them, especially against a Phantom Lancer lane where you can potentially be aggressive, but your ideal is just wanting to get this Phantom Lancer up to level 6 as soon as possible and getting him a Diffusal Blade because those are like his biggest power spikes. Where if everyone else is kind of behind, then the Phantom Lancer really just tears things up in the early game. But yeah, a
30
pretty
seconds
odd
to
Vengeful
battle.
Spirit pick. We'll see how that works out for them. But as I was saying, both teams kind of have experience because in their both of their game threes, where they took a huge shift in like what they were playing normally from like the late game kind of comp where you had that late game carry, but you also had like options for early game with your supports and how aggressive they can be in laning phase. As a boundary rune spot out here, we'll talk about it in a quick second. But Virtus.Pro taking a pretty aggressive stance overall. The tri-lane from
Battle starting.
or the three-man cell from Vici Gaming on the bottom lane. Going to secure that rune farm for them as Virtus.Pro make a pass for both bounty runes on the top side, since Yang is pretty much not going to be able to contest that by him lonesome. So advantage to Virtus.Pro there for the 3-to-1 bounty rune exchange. But yeah, like I said, both teams, they played a late game comp for the first 2 games, then the last game, their third game, which, I mean, you're not even guaranteed to get to if you lose the second game, or if you lose both first games, or the first 2 games. God, it's so hard to speak, but yeah, it isn't guaranteed to get to it, but they immediately shifted their dynamic into a late or into an early game kind of aggressive stance as Yang possibly in a bit of trouble here. Solo pings him out, sees him in the tree line, gonna go aggressive with that shadow poison as that's gonna zone him out from the experience. Ooh, excitement in the bottom lane as Paparazzi with that tri-lane sets up on a Roger and collects that kill pretty up easily. The Earth Spirit taking a pretty aggressive first move here as the follow-up Fortune's End gonna secure another kill towards the way of Paparazzi. So that's 2 for Morphling. 2-0 right here at the beginning of laning phase. 400 gold over the way of him. That's very dangerous. That's very not good. But Yang now in a bit of situation. He gets 3 stacks of Shadow Poison on him so far. 2 possible other extra hits of Shadow Poison, but the 4th one does not connect, so Yang is going to have that reset on him. Strangely enough, though, Fade trying to get aggressive with auto attacks takes too much damage from the wave, so both, both laners are in a pretty odd situation. But yeah, since the gank was effective on Fade, or from Fade, he's going to go back to the offlane to make sure his Vengeful Spirit is doing alright, since pretty hard for him to lane against a Shadow Poisoning guy as the TP comes up from solo. Just getting him on out of there. If the rolling boulder came off cooldown again, he'd be in a bit of trouble as Yang has that wave of terror, reducing his armor. Roger going to be the biggest loser, I think, in this game right now as the Morphling is a really aggressive pick. Haven't talked about it too much since it was the last pick, but it's one of the safe lane carries that with the attribute shift allows you to be kind of tanky and operate as utility in fights where you can't put out DPS. So it lets you be creative with how you operate in team fights, especially with the morph. And since you're probably gonna go shotgun, like everyone else is going to go, or everyone else went in this tournament, you're gonna have a lot of potential for burst, which lets you kill carries pretty easily. Roger with an Invis rune here in the river, not really gonna take too much advantage of it. Oh, actually getting a nice positioning on a DY, who's in a bit of trouble now. The Shackle's gonna get interrupted by the adaptive strike. As the waveform comes out to go with the Purifying Flames, turn around onto Roger, and that's going to be an easy kill towards the way of Vici Gaming. Again, 3 kills up for Paparazzi here. As we take a look at the other side of lanes. Obviously, our big boy Paparazzi is going to be up in the lead, but Ramsey's following closely behind, surprisingly enough. Yeah, the only difference is going to be his kills, because he has more last hits, yeah, than Paparazzi, so. Phantom Lancer lane is going about as what you'd expect. Like, he is overall really safe farm. Things might get different once the Vengeful Spirit starts to get more items and damage, but till then, he's got pretty much free reign, as long as that Shadow Demon is near him. I think the way Virtus.Pro want to take this is they want to get the Phantom Lancer level 6, and then as soon as he gets level 6, Solo is probably just going to leave lane. Solo might leave lane earlier than that, actually, to enable the Phantom Lancer to get to level 6 faster. But that'll be a decision for Virtus.Pro to make later. Yeah, I feel like you want to rotate your Shadow Demon down here as soon as possible, though, since you've already lost 3 kills over to a Morphling, who's going to be very dangerous if he keeps that gold. But, who knows? It might be the better judgment of Virtus.Pro. Just to avoid the Morphling right now altogether, since that'll attract the attention of the Earth Spirit, who is towards the bottom side now, along with the TP back from DY into the lane. Paparazzi's looking a bit low, as Virtus.Pro's offlane is not, but the Earth Spirit can change that very quickly. As Fade is positioning here for potential gank. DY pulling the camp a little unsuccessfully, actually, so not able to put the lane in favorable positions. Roger walking out towards the bounty rune, 30 seconds out from the actual spawning as the rolling boulder misses, but that's really not going to make much of a difference. Keep him out of XP range, actually, is that kill goes over the way of DY, thankfully. But yeah, Paparazzi is in a very good position. More so than the Phantom Lancer, so Virtus.Pro have to kind of take a different stance on this. I feel like they need to position more aggressively, as Fade potentially in a dangerous position as the bounty rune spawn. He's going to get out of there really quickly. Does Roger really mispositioning in this laning phase? Yeah, I mean, if he gets hit by one rune or CC, he's going to die immediately. And I don't know why you would position right next to your Tidehunter in that situation, but a slight mistake from him, as he's 0-4 right now in the laning phase. Yup. Yarp. That's crazy. Not good. Yeah. I mean, it's expected to have your supports be really poor, but Shadow Shaman is one of those ones that you shouldn't expect to be poor, since either shock lets you clear waves and thereby allowing you to catch most of the pushes from the opposing sides of the map in the mid game. So yeah, I mean, Shadow Shaman is one of the supports that has the potential to get a lot of gold, and I guess Vici Gaming identified that and want to pressure as much as possible. That being said, it also accomplishes the goal of getting your Morphling really safe farm, especially against a Tidehunter. Like I said, the melee matchup is really the only good matchup the Tidehunter has. And locking that in with that guarantee is pretty dumb, as Ori uses his first exorcism to clear out this tower. A pretty surprising mood, as no one is full health. Not really much else he needs to do to contest that other than walk back in the lane, but he's going to be the casualty there. Or, sorry, not the tower. The mid tower is going to be the casualty there. As the early exorcism for Ori enables him, or the first exorcism enables him to pick up the mid tower. Surprising that Virtus.Pro weren't ready to deal with that. Like, I think it's just because Roger's behind. Because once Roger's behind, he's like the main clincher for the early game in terms of like map pressure. And if you lock down the Shadow Shaman, then really all you have left is for a Shadow Demon with minimal movement speed to walk around the map. And Roger was just not able to make the rotations. Just wasn't strong enough, as Fade going to continue the bowling here onto Roger. Soul Siphon to get with that boulder kick. A Crypt Swarm down with a couple of autos should lock down that kill again. Yep, not having the best of games, as he is now 0-5. Yikes. Yeah. It's a good approach. I mean, Pasha now in a bit of trouble. Does have a Morbid Mask in his lane to combo with his Anchor Smash, which now procs as an auto attack, if I remember correctly, as a standard auto attack. But yeah, gonna get punished there. Virtus.Pro's off lane really taking a heavy beating here. Vici Gaming pretty much identified that the Phantom Lancer in the most ideal scenario just wants nothing to do with the opposing team. As, I mean, pretty much does the Razor too. Like, if you can be aggressive with your static link, that's cool. But if you can't, then don't. So. No one's going to take that passive stance there, as Paparazzi with that tri-lane setup again. Actually different here with Yang, who is level 5. Uses Wave of Terror to jump on a solo, who makes the mistake of walking up to the tower. Didn't look like he had any vision. Yeah, they were sitting right out of vision range, so he had no chance against that as Vici Gaming really snowballing this early game. 8 kills up, but only a 1k lead. That is pretty surprising. It is unlikely due to the fact that no one is really power farming right now. He has a 2900 gold, but so is the Death Prophet. I mean, the Death Prophet's at 3600 net worth. That's crazy. He's how far ahead? He's gone ahead of the Razor, 600 gold. I mean, they're also doing the part of the tower gold, but yeah. I mean, not much else to say about it. Vici Gaming have a really strong handle on the situation right now. They rotated DY to the top lane to cover some farm as Yang makes the rotation out. Could potentially be in trouble as Ramses is level 7. Does have that juxtapose ready, but I mean, Ramses are always going to have less pressure than Paparazzi here. And Paparazzi is just probably going to continue pushing until he gets this tower, right? Like, most teams don't stop committing to something unless they want to rotate out for a different objective or it's just too much pressure. But VG just really have free reign right now as Solo establishing a 3-man ancient, or that's a 3-stack for the ancient camp there. Most likely going to be Pasha to pick that up. So, and yeah, I mean, Virtus.Pro is still in a decent situation. Like with a Tidehunter, a Shadow Demon, a Shadow Shaman, those are all those are 3 heroes that can kind of clear camps pretty well. So if they stack efficiently, they do have do a potential to stay up in net worth and experience, like stay consistent with Vici Gaming despite the deaths. But it's gonna be hard. Like they have to be really efficient with their camps. And Fade actually going on to Ramses in a bit of a spot here as their Phantom Lancer now in a bit of trouble. Doppelganger is readying up, but that does not purge the Soul Siphon. As his only option is to fight, but that's not gonna do anything as he gets picked off. Right as the bounty rune spawn too, so BG gonna pick up that bounty rune. Meanwhile on the other side of the map, Yang putting himself in danger for the exact same thing as he's gonna get picked up. The disruption there to stop his retreat. As Pasha not going to be able to pick up the kill. Roger with the quick ether shock does that instead. Yeah, Yang got the bounty rune, but I don't think that was worth it. I don't know. 3 for 1 though in the favor of Vici Gaming as they advance upon this top tower. They're just going to stay grouped as much as they can. Like, the Death Popper really doesn't lose anything from grouping up with the enemy team. Like, once your Death Prophet just has level 3, you could, like, even fight then, because Spirit Siphon together Silence is still really efficient at lower levels. As is Exorcism, but yeah. Vici Gaming have all the tools they need right now to be super aggressive. They've locked down the off lane, which is like the lane that has to make rotations to cover lanes in this phase of the game. And they're kind of forced to just power farm as much as they can right now, and not even go to the other side of the map, yeah. Which is a bit of an awkward position, because usually you want to shift your offlaner here, and then have him cover and be relatively safe against that matchup, since it should be relatively even. But since Pasha and Solo, or Pasha and Roger have lost a huge amount, they just can't even contest. So Ramses is gonna try and stay in the area as he tries to jungle at the same time using his illusions. But Ori's still in the area, so he can threaten that too. As Ramses actually misses a doppelganger, still puts him on the same side of the cliff. Ori does have Atos, but no one else to follow up on that. Yeah, Vici Gaming really just wanted to. I mean, it's weird enough to say, but if you're in the lead right now, you don't really want to fight, right? Like you wanna get a pick, but you never really want to fight against the team because that's the biggest potential for them to come back is during a team fight. The biggest potential for mistakes, as was just the more people that are there on VP, the bigger chance they have of winning a fight. Yeah, like I said, the offlane gonna try and put as much pressure as they can as Pasha is eventually forced to rotate. The swap, or the eventually grants from Paparazzi goes for the morph onto Solo, using that disruption stolen from him. Gonna set up for that quick kill onto Solo as Vici Gaming are now 10-1. You'd imagine with a 10-1 lead on kills, you'd have more of a gold lead, but yeah. Same old story. No one is still power farming. It's really odd. I feel like no one is a mid laner who does the best when he's aggressive and tries to win the lane. But I mean, certain situations call for certain strategies, so no one is gonna have to play the patient game, be the late game option, or essentially the mid game option once he gets a Yules, potentially a BKB. He really just wants safety items to enable his damage, as well as ensure the static link goes down into the carry. So that's his motivation. Vici Gaming now gonna look for a three-man smoke as Yang, DY, and Ori setting up together, looking potentially for the lower charts of the jungle. Fade is probably gonna be the one to spot them first, as no one is in a precarious position on the wrong side of the map. Yep, gonna get spotted out. Rietos onto him from Ori, along with that Soul Siphon. The rest of the combo comes down as the four-man squad of Vici Gaming pick up Virtus.Pro's mid laner. Yikes. How much gold did he lose? Like, how far ahead was he? I mean, he bought the Staff of Wizardry, which is okay. It was about a 200 gold loss, I think, overall from him. So, puts him a little farther behind. But for the mid laner who can power farm jungle, as long as he has access to that gold, it really isn't too big of a detriment. But he does, like, everyone in Virtus.Pro wants to reach their power spike as fast as possible, which is why you see, like, even the supports are farming jungle camps when the carry's not around. Just to be as efficient. Like, they just need to pick up as much gold as possible so that they can, like, make a stand at some point in this game. Which, I mean, both teams are looking for it. VG Gaming understand that they have to maintain this pressure, so they walk into the bottom side of the jungle after they've made their presence known on the top side from the previous fight. But not gonna find anyone there. Probably gonna find someone eventually, but the ping on the ancient stack is made from VG Gaming, so they do know that's there. Serpent Ward's going to be committed in the top lane. For the off lane, as the swap goes out into Pasha, he's going to be the target of the aggression as Vici Gaming are channeling their TPs. Two very delayed TPs, but Fade and Ori are there. Pasha is in trouble as the root comes down on him. Ooh, a nice use of Fortune's End. He didn't spot him in the vision, so he casted on Fade so that the AoE could root, but that's going to be a kill secured onto the off laner. Consistent pressure. Pasha is doing alright for himself, I'd say, but that is a lot of gold away from him. At a moment where he really needed Blink. Like, Blink is the what you need to, like, not get into that situation, right? But, yeah, unfortunately for him, that's going to be a little late now as a result of that move by Vici Gaming. How's Paparazzi doing? Okay, he's opting for Lincoln Sphere first, which is a good choice. You don't want Static Link to hit you. You want Shackles to hit you as well as Disruption. Those are, like, the biggest, initiation tools, and they're all really single target, so nice choice of Lincoln Sphere, an initial defensive item that also gives you a boost to stats and regen. So I mean, it's probably one of the better items in the early game for staying in lane and staying on the map as long as possible. So a good choice from him overall, especially with the Morphling, since you can turn your strength down and make the region a lot more efficient for yourself. But Vici Gaming going with an odd choice here, opting for the Roshan. As they think that combine, I think, yeah, Vici Gamer are thinking the combined combo of Yank and DY with the armor meld and the disarm. And the Roshan is enough to take it, but Yang gonna take a huge amount of punishment there as the aggression goes on the top lane. Ori gonna go with Fade to pick up no one. Yeah, Fade's basically at the point where he can kind of just be the only person to initiate on ganks. As long as it's just one person, the Earth Spirit's not in danger of dying, then they have a pretty easy time locking out kills with a two-man squad. But Vici Gaming just returned to the Roshan after the urn from DY heals up Yang. Combined with that medallion and the wave of terror is going to leave the Morphling a pretty easy roast take. That's going to get that Aegis lockdown for him. Virtus.Pro completely unaware of the situation as the Serpent Wards are committed bottom. Meanwhile, picking up that bottom tier 2. So I mean, all in all, Virtus.Pro have made pretty good tower trades. Like, it's hard to see from a different, or against a team on the back end. Like, you're seeing a lot more of teams just trying to recover and not really doing too much in the terms of, like, split pushing. But Virtus.Pro doing pretty not bad, I'd say. Like, that's the only thing I can say about it, right? Like, you're 13 and 1 now on the scoreboard, so obviously you're not doing good in the way of fighting. But in terms of, like, overall, like, scrounging for your money and gold and items and levels, you're doing pretty alright. Like, net worth's not looking too bad. Ramses was pretty much caught up to the enemy carries, which is surprising since Paparazzi is such a huge lead. And he's died, right? Wait, Paparazzi died. He's 3-0-5, and Ramses has died once, 0-1-0. But he's got more last hits. That's all he's got. That's all he's got. He's gonna stick with it. Opting for the Manta. Yeah, that's a better choice if you want to be super defensive. Since the PL was constantly getting pressure in the jungle. the defensive stats from the Manta, as well as just like the overall ability to purge silences and stuns and stuff like that, potentially dodge things is invaluable for Phantom Lancer. As the Wave of Terror gonna spot solo out in the trees, this should be another kill selected for Vici Gaming. Don't want to lead them over to your hard carries. Ramsey's just gonna get the hell out of there, but he's gonna send the Doppelganger to try and block the mid wave. Yeah, Ver's probably doing the little things. I haven't been making too much note of it. Hopefully be able to see these in the later parts of the game, but yeah. Pasha on the side here, off lane, nothing from the Death Prophet can interrupt the TP other than an Atos hit, which is what Ori's looking for, but that's not going to be the case. But yeah, like Ver's probably doing a lot of different small things to keep themselves in the game, and they're getting more and more creative. Like Roger's here just sitting in the tree line, he's looking for wave clear, and Pasha's splitting on the other side of the map, but things like blocking the mid wave so that the push tower doesn't get pushed down fast enough, and like giving him the proper timing for no one to have the cooldown on his plasma field so he can clear the wave is one of, like, it's those little things that Virtus.Pro are doing that are really keeping them in the game. But that might change though as Pasha get hit with the initial Atos will allow him to TP out after Restoration. So that's an easy escape for him. Roger's doing pretty well. I'm surprised to say, after the Shadow Shaman has gone 0-5, he's 1-5 now. Obviously not going to be able to fight against anyone in lane, but with either shock, he's just pretty much playing safe, getting as many waves as he can, collecting up on that gold, and getting the items he needs to commit to split pushing. And, you know, his offlaner's not with him to guarantee his safety, so he's just playing the risky game. Really just assuming that Vici Gaming don't want to have to commit anymore in order to go for him, which, in all, is the right choice. Like, Vici Gaming don't want to commit onto the sideline here, but they are going to try it with Fade. Combined together with Ori, but no one is in the wings, waiting for a potential turnaround, as he leaves his laner in the dust. Nope, instead they're going to opt to TP out and just leave immediately. Looking for the turnaround the bottom lane, as Paparazzi going to pick up solo. Pasha now in danger as he is static linked up. The Yules from no one. Going to put Paparazzi into the air. So Paparazzi did morph into the Razor. Pretty good combo with that static link, but not going to use it to its full potential yet. Yeah, I mean, Virtus.Pro don't want to fight, especially considering there's an Aegis on the field. But Fade and DY are smoked up now, so they're going to look for as many opportunities as they can to capitalize on that. Paparazzi with Ghost Scepter buy initially. Yeah, I'd like Ghost Scepter more and getting the Eagle Song first, especially against the Phantom Lancer. Like the main worry is the Phantom Lancer, I think, but it is overall a really good choice since Virtus.Pro don't really have anything in the ways of Magic Burst, and all their DPS right now is through physical damage, I think, right? Because you deny the damage from the wards, you deny the damage from the Razor if he static links and starts autoing you. You deny the PL illusions hitting you, as Virtus.Pro actually looking for a smoke out. Potentially, they are really spread out, so they're probably just looking to converge on something, or potentially wrap around and go for an unexpected fight. Pasha does have his Ravage up. This is going to be the first one of the game here in 21 minutes, not the optimal situation, as Ramses does have his Diffusal Blade combined with the Manta, so he has put Paparazzi pretty low in terms of the mana department, so no waveform available right now. As no one does pop his smoke reveal that he is there, as the Aegis does get consumed. Yeah, Virtus.Pro, I think we're looking for the timing where the Aegis expires and they can go for the fight. So they're ready. I mean, they're ready to fight now. Ramses has 2 items. No one with the Yule Scepter. Still a little behind. I mean, as the mid laner, he's doing pretty badly. But I mean, he has to walk around the rest of his team, right? Like the Shadow Shaman is farming, the Shadow Demon picks up waves whenever he can. Rogers, as a Shadow Shaman, is more efficient, I think, overall at clearing waves, so he has to fight for it, which in turn makes him poor overall. I don't think the Razor pick was the best choice. I would have preferred something like something that helps you in the early game, since you have that PL, but who knows how it shapes out as the Manta goes out immediately from Ramses to purge that Atos. Most members of Vici Gaming wanted to dodge these illusions since the Diffusal is pretty potent against their composition. Yeah, really you only needed to wait for the Phantom Lancer to get his Diffusal. Once he has Diffusal, that enables him to pretty much kill everyone on Vici Gaming. As long as you have the necessary CC to follow up, or to initiate with. But yeah, Virtus.Pro going for an ambitious second smoke here actually, with the members of VP heading towards the mid lane. Pasha and Roger are smoked up while Ramses is the only one visible. No one is also visible here in the mid lane, so really just potentially baiting them into a team fight. I think they're trying to pull Vici Gaming out of their jungle right now, but Virtus.Pro not successful so far. Yeah, Vici Gaming have realized that this is the power spike that Virtus.Pro are looking for, and so they're going to do their best to tiptoe around the situation and look for a favorable position, which now they're in, since Virtus.Pro committed 2 smokes in an attempt to shift the pace of the game. But Vici Gaming going to get the better of them in position with their own smoke now into the jungle. Potentially he's looking for a kill here on a solo. He does get 8 toast up. Silence too from him as well, so that's going to lock him down and pretty much guarantee the kill. Yep. The adaptive strike going to finish him off as Paparazzi collects on that kill. Solo does not have buyback. He is 200 gold away, so will not be able to buy back for the next 20 seconds. So this is a 4v5 here. Is Vici Gaming positioning for their first tier 3. Exorcism not going to get committed yet. Or he does have a BKB. Looks like they're just trying to go for the burst and push Virtus.Pro out first, as no one gets hit with a large amount of burst and gets locked out there. Ramses does get his PL copied by the Morphling, so Doppelganger will be a lot more annoying to play against, though, as the swap goes out on a Pasha. Pasha goes and responds with the immediate blink out. Good by him to do that. Yeah, you want to hit away first before you hit your swap target, because if you just swap and they blinked, you can blink immediately. But that's based on reaction speed. Good on Pasha to be able to react to that. Virtus.Pro looking for a potential fight here. They want to be able to fight, but in their favor and on their terms, as they don't have a lot of vision out here. The magic missile going to cancel from Ramses here. Solo going to be the one to get aggressed on again. The burst comes out immediately. He's down. Serpent Wards, however, going to go on the Ori. This is going to be the first fight that we see a lot of action in. Pasha going to get the main target here as Ori pops his BKB. He's going to be the target of a nice static link kill onto from no one there, as Ramses in the backline picks up Yang. Wow. DY, also another casualty in the backline too, is Virtus.Pro make a solid 3-kill fight for them in favor of 1. So Yules goes out in the fade, could be another kill lockdown. Yep, Rolling Boulder going to get denied by the illusions, and that's 4 kills the way of Virtus.Pro in exchange for 1 support. So Virtus.Pro doing a good job turning around there, recognizing that they are stronger in the fight overall, if they execute it well. And they basically negated the Death Prophet entirely by just hitting him in the Serpent Wards. That was a crazy move. I think I think I undersold it, because the Death Prophet doesn't have any mobility. I thought the Death Prophet had phase boots, but she doesn't have phase, but she has boots of travel, so she can't actually bypass collision, which is an important thing you need, especially against the Shadow Shaman. Yeah, I mean the blink dagger is gonna come out from him anyways, but there's no way to guarantee he gets the blink off, right? If he does get stuck in shackles. Like, he can bot BKB, but auto attacks are going to still come flying in. Yeah, it sucks. I don't think Ori's making good choices in terms of, like, itemization. He has the Atos, which is good for him. And it's, like, one of the items they need, but, and BKB is too. Shiva's kind of what he needs more in the later parts of the game. I would have opted to, like, I don't know, see maybe like a Yule's out from him too. I like a Yule's out from him, though it does deny or it does keep the static link going onto him, so not too sure how that is. But yeah, Ori just got BKB'd up during that entire, he BKB'd but got stuck in the Serpent Wards that entire fight, which I feel is hard to do. It's hard to get stuck in there. Like, he was hitting the Serpent Wards. Like, make no mistake, he was trying to get out, but I guess just the overwhelming pressure from no one together with the Shadow Shaman is too much. But yeah, good on Virtus.Pro. They have a pretty much dead even net worth right now between the two teams themselves. And Virtus.Pro now have a lot more freedom to farm. So that's going to give them an opportunity to make a lot more different plays that Vici Gaming have been going for, since they have had since they have pretty much the driver's seat in the game. Now it's over to Virtus.Pro though. No, it's not really over to anyone, I'd say. Like, Virtus.Pro have an edge right now where, I mean, if they have Ravage, then they can fight a lot better. As Vici Gaming positioning for their second Roshan. Now, gonna go with a similar strategy of the disarm meld armor combo. Yang gonna be the tank here to make sure Paparazzi maximizes his DPS. Overall good strategy here, but the scan does come from Virtus.Pro. They don't know what the health is of the Roshan, so they're gonna make a slow pay to reposition. Nope, instead looking to reposition the mid river. Yeah, I mean since they don't know the health of the Roshan and those the members of Vici Gaming have been gone off the map for a while, you can only really assume that the Roshan is very low, especially with their composition. The Morphling is such a good Roshan taker if you meld armor. Meld? Melt. Why do you keep saying meld? I keep saying meld because of TA, and I watched a TA game a couple of days ago that was really sick. But yeah, we'll see what Vici Gaming opt to do because they're like the onus is on them to change the pace of the game right now. I want to see how they do it, but right now they're opting to push it to the top side jungle, pressure the shrine here, as they make the immediate rotation back towards mid from Paparazzi to lock out the wave. Pasha gonna do his best to pick up the wave as much as possible, but the immediate rotation from Paparazzi denies another wave to be picked up from him. Say you have to go. See, these are the things. He just went straight down mid, picked up the wave, recognized that we were in the top jungle. We're gonna make the rotation bottom. Instead, rotates over to off lane so he can pick up the next wave. Yeah, because they're gonna expect him to come up to the wave and TP here and collapse, but now they're gonna try and go on the aggression onto him. So Wave of Terror does spot him out in the trees, does tag him, so they do not spot him going downwards. And Pasha's gonna get a free TP. Yep. Fade and Yang not really splitting up their attention, since Fade is the only real entry into the tree line. Since Yang missed his Wave of Terror. The better execution, I think, would have been to try to get the Rolling Boulder off through the trees first, to establish that he's not in one direction, then go for the wave on the other side. But yeah, I mean, Yang did see him in the trees. I don't know why. I think his spells got canceled, but he also didn't notice him going downward, so maybe he just didn't spot him at all. I don't know. We'd have to rewind it. But Ramsey's now at a very nice power spike, comfortably sitting at a Heart of Terras together with his Diffusal Blade. Really what he needs. He just needs to be super survivable as a Vici game positioning for these boundaries here. They are smoked up, so we could potentially see a fight here from Vici game as Fate is going to be the initiator, looking for a potential pick in the jungle, but Virtus.Pro already out of there, collected all the gold and camps that they can, and moved on from that. Now, though, Pasha paused. Seems to be having some lag issues. Hopefully that lag does not condemn him to a death here. There's 5 members of Vici Gaming, right? No, 4. Where's the last guy? Who's left? The DUI Fade. Where's Paparazzi? Paparazzi. Oh, he's mid. He's hidden on all these illusions. It's such a weird thing. But yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say Pasha leaves immediately. Yang, yeah, Fade's the only really one who can go through the trees. So if Pasha just blinks in the trees as soon as he sees them, then he should be fine. Or he only has the projectile Atos to lock someone down. So in all likelihood, this probably isn't going to be a kill. Unless Ori waits. Nope, instead he's going to go immediately on the Pasha. Pasha with, oh, the long range Atos is not going to get dodged from him. He wasn't ready for it. So that's going to guarantee that his blink does not come off cooldown. Fade going to be eventually coming down to collect that kill. Just a slight slow reaction there from Pasha. As Virtus.Pro are looking to pressure the other sides of the map. Morphling actually going to go aggressive on his solo. He's in a bit of a situation. He channels his TP, but the shotgun combo. Oh my god, with the second adaptive strike coming off cooldown, Paparazzi stops the TP just in the nick of time. What's that cooldown? It's like 3 seconds after the initial stat. Right? It's shorter if you cast the other one, I think. It's still a cooldown after you cast it, but it's shorter if you cast the other one first. As for Vici Gaming, now looking for a push on the tier 3. Bottom tier 3 going to be their target now. No rear shrine for a flank for the Tidehunter, but he does have buyback available and is ready to come up soon in a quick second. His buyback is committed from solo to maintain this defense. A lot amount of damage actually going down to the tier 3. Vici Gaming are playing very carefully. They're being very, very composed. Like they know that Virtus.Pro are comfortable with this situation, and that they know they're really not in much of a lead right now, anyways. Even though they have the kill lead, like they had the initiative, I'd say. Like they had the aggression where Virtus.Pro were not able to respond at that time, but now Virtus.Pro are ready, and so your deadline is kind of pushed up for Vici Gaming to close this game out. But they're still playing really carefully. You see Ori not really committing any exorcism on these barracks push because he wants to use it for maximum efficiency. So he wants to use it at the start of a team fight and at the end to push a tower down. But the immediate Aitel's gonna get on and no, he's gonna pop his BKB. His fade comes into collapse, but he's gonna walk out safely. A rolling boulder try and get on a no one after the BKB duration, but that's a 10-second BKB. The Hex End rolling with the Serpent One's gonna go down to fade. This could potentially be a kill on the him. Instead he's gonna rolling boulder forward. As the BKB gets popped on the back line, Ramsey's gonna go on to DY. Pasha gonna get talked on by Orty, but the Ravage is there to protect him. Ramsey's going to TP out as the False Promise saves DY there. The rest of Virtus.Pro are going to peel on out of there. Nope, instead no one going to try and go to turn of aggression here with Solo. Does have nothing up. Yeah, Eye of Storm still on cooldown along with the BKB, so he's going to die. Pasha going to come in with a turnaround onto the Fade, but Fade is magic immune thanks to the Fate's Edict from DY. Pasha going to be hit with the Urn as well as the Wave of Terror, so that's going to make sure he doesn't get his blink off in the tree line. That's going to be 3 kills going the way of Vici Gaming. Virtus.Pro, I think, might call GG in this situation. Virtus.Pro in like late game situations have pretty good, like they can analyze a situation pretty fast, and we've seen a couple like borderline early GG calls out from them. As the disruption comes out to save Solo from the paparazzi burst. Instead, the right click is go down immediately to finish him instead. Since the disruption illusions aren't, like, they look different from a regular hero. But yeah, Vici Gaming with that initiative are going to go for the bottom wave racks, which is very simple for a Morphling to pick up. Exorcism is down, but Ori did use it for its intended purpose, so good on him. Does get that initiative as Vici Gaming potentially positioning for racks here. Virtus.Pro can't afford to get mega creeps here, so they're gonna have to fight this. TP is gonna come in from Ramses on the side of the base as he goes out immediately on a DY. DY gonna hit his false promise off as the boulder smash comes out from Fade to put his support out of danger. Needs to get that rolling boulder to get out, but the collision hits Ramses. The Yule's up for him to lock him down as the burst comes down from Ramses with the illusions to kill off DY. Yang swapping out his support. Not sure if that was worth it per se. Like, I mean, Fade's less net worth. They're similar net worth, so I guess Yang deemed it reasonable to make the swap. Like, he probably had higher chances of living there. No, never mind. He had a Glimmer, but that's it. I think he swapped and didn't have the mana for Glimmer and then just died. That's probably what happened. But yeah, I mean, Vici Gaming gonna get stopped from taking the megas here, but Virtus.Pro are in a very bad situation. No one needs to get a lot more right now. He needs to get a Hex. Yeah, I can see Hex being really useful here. They need the lockdown on the Morphling. If the Morphling doesn't get taken care of, like in the first 10 seconds, I still like the first 5 to 10 seconds of the fight. There's a very large chance that Virtus.Pro just straight up lose the fight. That can also be said if the Death Prophet leaves, though, because the Exorcism makes us like, constantly a threat. Or you can offer the... Yeah. Both mid laners realize that a Hex is what they need now in this part of the game. A Shiva's would have been nice for the Razor to keep him alive more against the Morphling, but you take what you can get. As Ramses potentially positioning for a bounty here. Nope, gonna get locked out by 4 members of Vici Gaming as a scan identifies them. Instead, they're gonna go for that 2-2 trade. 35 minutes in. Both teams sitting pretty. Vici Gaming in a... biggest lead they've had so far this game, 6k, which is surprising considering they've been more than 10 kills up this entire game, I think. For like after like the first 7 minutes. Yeah, this is beginning to look like a very interesting game. Both teams are taking back and forth hits across each other. As we see Virtus.Pro looking with some really interesting positioning here. Gonna get with the smoke on everyone except for Ramses. Ramses is gonna be the bait here in the mid lane as Virtus.Pro making a slow rotation out with the 4-man smoke on Ori. Ori's gonna respond just walking away. His buddy Paparazzi is also morphed up using the Phantom Lancer illusions, so he's gonna stay safe with that. As Solo does get revealed with the smoke popped. Paparazzi just gonna retreat after seeing that. So the rest of members of Virtus.Pro on the side here, actually collapsing on the Yang. The offlane are going to go down immediately, but Serpent Wards is committed to go with the Eye of the Storm. So Vici Gaming realized and recognized that some valuable ultimates have been committed and just want to get out of the fight. Paparazzi is in the Rosh Pit. The pings are going down. They have seen him. No one's willing to rush in the Rosh Pit first. Pasha's going to be the one to check, but Paparazzi can just wait for him on out of there, so he's going to be fine. Nice little move from Virtus.Pro there. In all honesty, I wanted more to come out of that fight. Like, that's a really good chance for Virtus.Pro to make a stand there in a fight, but instead they're going to try to possibly get aggressed on here by Vici Gaming. No one going to have to pop his BKB immediately. Stack Link is not successful. Goes down onto a jungle camp, so a bit of damage for no one there, but not as much as he'd like. Oh, no, wait. That was weird. It was buggy. So Static Link kind of visually glitches and goes on a paparazzi, but looks like it was connected to a jungle minion. I think it was because of the waveform. It's just a visual bug. But yeah, not much else goes the way of them there as no one commits his BKB, so the next 40 seconds is not available. Potentially more dangerous there for the Razor as opts for an Assault Curious instead of Hex. Burst comes down to slow from Paparazzi, but you don't have any more bursts. Shock and Morphling is no longer effective. The BKB popped out from Paparazzi. Could be a potential dangerous fight as the illusion is gone on by the rest of Vici Gaming. Solo's the only casualty. Ramsey's doing well enough to keep himself elusive at all times. Faking him out with the illusion every now and then, but the buyback is not available from Solo since he committed it at the tier 3, which are also getting pushed on right now by those creeps, so timer is up for Virtus.Pro. They need to come back to base, but they also need to stop this Roche. We'll see how the approach is as the Roshan does get claimed. Virtus.Pro looking for the priority here in the middle lane so that Ramses can use his illusion to pick up the waves. The pings go down, however they spotted no one, and Ramses there in the unfavorable position. The Fade's going to be too far from his team to take advantage. He's going to use his Yules to stay safe for now as the BKB is available from no one now. False Prompt's going to go on a Fade to save him. Ravage out though, however. Burst down onto the Morphlings. Paparazzi gets his first life taken down. Pasha, however, going to have to trade his life as already Pasha's BKB. The Soul Siphon is there to get the Hex on a no one. He's going to go down as well as Paparazzi. Potentially in danger from the illusions, but does manage to morph into strength in time. Does get the morph off in the Phantom Lancer and runs out onto Solo. Or no, Roger. Roger's going to be the casualty there. No one does commit his buyback and returns in. But, oh no, that's the kill from Ori onto yeah, I was confused by the morph Phantom Lynch, but yeah. Vici Gaming, if they have more than like 3 members, are just gonna against one Phantom Lancer are always just gonna fight that. And Ramses really doesn't have much else he can do there, but a lot of buybacks coming there from Virtus.Pro. We'll see. DY, Pasha, no one. Who else has buybacks as we see the we're gonna have to go straight into the fight here. Is Vici Gamer are looking to position onto this top tier 3 Rex. Could be the last fight here for this game as the smoke is available for Virtus.Pro. They do have it. It pops out immediately. No Ravage available. So Ramsey's just going to try and kite people out. His Fade. An unfavorable rolling boulder to get him in a bad position. Demonic Purge going to go on him as locks him down properly. He does manage to activate his BKB, but he doesn't morph into strength enough until the False Promise comes out. So False Promise is going to be the one to save him there. So Virtus.Pro potentially looking for a turnaround fight. Yang going to get hit with that Phantom Lance. Or Spirit Lance, as the False Promise ends for Paparazzi. He is back around a reasonable health level. The health going to regen for Ramses as he does have that heart, but the Atos is going to lock him down. Pasha does not have Ravage still, but he does have Blink to allow him to get in the fight. No one going to be the front liner together with him and the Ramses 666. Ori going to be the casualty here as the swap goes down on him. Yang going to be able to sacrifice his life to save his mid laner. A better sacrifice as Ori tries to commit his TP. He's in vision though, as the Disruption together with the Shackle is going to lock him down, prevent his TP, and that's going to lock down another kill for Virtus.Pro. Other than that, though, Vengeful Spirit, Yang going to use his illusion to try and continue to push the barracks, and this is a ranged barracks, so they do not regen health. A nice move by the Vengeful Spirit to lock down a good amount of damage on that barracks. But yeah, good on VP to be able to make a turn there. Overall, the fight went the way of them without having to commit any buybacks. Do recognize that both supports of Vici Gaming do not have buyback, whereas pretty much like all the cores, not pretty much just everyone in Virtus.Pro doesn't have buyback except for Solo, who uses it at a different timing. So Virtus.Pro really have nothing else they can do other than get this PL up to speed. Does have a Butterfly now. We'll see what the choices from the Morphling turns out to be Mjolnir. A pretty necessary item if you want to fight a Phantom Lancer. So he's going to keep that as the mid laner. Death Prophet does have his Hex now. So should have more amounts of lockdown available. Yep. I feel like Vici Gaming have been constantly looking for the support picks. Paparazzi is constantly looking to try and kill the supports since that's the easy kill. He can't do so now that the Shadow Shaman has the BKB stats as well as the bracers plus the combination of the cloak from Solo. Make sure that he doesn't die to the shotgun burst anymore. That being a more priority for him instead of a general utility. So it's a wise choice. but that's gonna lock him out from helping his teammates potentially. So no one and Posh are gonna be potentially in more dangerous situations once they go for that front line. Ramses obviously has that doppelganger, so that's gonna keep him safer. Does Morphling have a crit? He has a crit talent, or is that just a direwolf? Is there a direwolf nearby? Oh no, is that just a Phantom Lance, or does he have a crit now? Yeah, he has the crit talents, right? No? He didn't. He didn't get it. So how does he have crit? Paparazzi? There's no Chrysalis in his inventory. I don't know. I must be seeing things because I saw a crit. Might have just been a direwolf nearby or something like that. Potentially, I don't know, other items. But Vici Gaming looking to close out this last Rax here as the swap goes on to Ramsey immediately to get with that Hex. Immediate initiation using that Ravage. BKB's popped from the carries of Vici Gaming. Looking for the backline there. Solo's dead immediately, or he's going to get jumped on with that staggering from no one. BKB going to be coming in from him. His backline does fall immediately. DY going to go down as Fade gets zoned out. Pasha going to make his escape quickly as Roger goes down. No one else will go down to the Morphling as well as Paparazzi in the backline. Morphed up as a Razor instead of the Phantom Lancer. So Phantom Lancer potentially picks up another kill on the Yang. Not going to be able to do so immediately. So Doppelganger comes out to make Ramsey's escape pretty convenient. Paparazzi potentially going to get jumped on here as he gets hexed. The adaptive, or the Morph there is available. So Strength Attribute shifted that way. Ramses, though, however, going to get locked up by that Ato. So many members of Vici Gaming so low, but Virtus.Pro are unable to collect on those kills. That's unfortunate, but yeah, they have to call the GG there as Vici Gaming. A convincing fight, but a close fight too from Virtus.Pro. Yeah, that was a really close game. Like Vici Gaming had it for a good amount of the game one, and then they had it for like the first 10 minutes, and then they moved into the later parts of the game once that like they continued to punish, and that was probably the best early game I would expect from Vici Gaming. But I'm not too sure. Like it's weird overall. They played probably the best early game they could, but didn't really transition into late because they kind of played for a later spike. Hmm. No, I'd say Vici Gaming were trying to play aggressive but careful so that they don't get turned around on and allow Virtus.Pro to get in the lead. Because if Virtus.Pro with that composition get the lead, it's really hard to take it away from them, right? Because if the Razor gets everything he needs and the Phantom Lancer gets everything he needs, then they're just gonna run through your entire team. And the Morphling from behind is not a good hero. So yeah, that's gonna be like it was a better choice for Vici Gaming to play safe that game, but I don't know. I feel like you should have taken some risks. Like you should have been more aggressive, especially when it came to making a turnaround there. But yeah, that's gonna be game one. Vici Gaming locking down that first game there, but it is a best of 5, so we're gonna need to see 2 more dubs out from Vici Gaming to secure that win. Virtus.Pro looking for probably a better late game scenario. Hmm. Nah, Virtus.Pro need to work on their early game next game, so we'll see how that shapes out. Their draft should also probably be a lot more different picks too, so hopefully that'll be exciting. I'll see you guys there next for game 2. As always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you for game 2. Peace.